Robseco Future Farm. Today's innovations, tomorrow's solutions.
Welcome back to another episode of Future Farm. I'm Trent Friesen, stepping in as guest host for the week, stepping in for the Jim Robinson, and I'm here with Lynn Justesent of UPL. Lynn, welcome here. Glad to have you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Great to be here, Trent.
Yes. Well, what can you tell us about UPL?
Yeah, great question. UPL is probably the biggest company you've never heard of in the United States. As we look at that, we ended up in around that number 5 spot, but we've been primarily a post-patent company in a lot of ways up till this point. But I think what you're going to hear today and some of the things we're going to talk about in the future with you guys here at Future Farm is we're just quite a little bit more than that. We have 281 different SKU numbers. We have 141 plus different AIs we have access to globally. We're not a China-based, China-sourced active ingredient company either. So it gives us a really nice competitive advantage that we feel like we can share with you and you all can share with your growers.
Well, some moisture we've had this week. There's across the whole Midwest, there's a newfound hope and a newfound excitement out in the countryside to try and finish this crop out. You know, and it's early in the year, but it's never too early to think about plant health and think about what we can do to try and finish the crop out. So what kind of fungicides are out there to help with plant health?
Yeah, I think if you think about that, I think a couple we'll talk about today are very specific with you guys here at Streamline, right? And your opportunity in stepping into this a little bit bigger this year, and certainly will be highlighted in many of your Future Farm sites this year as well. The first one is Zolera FX, and really, maybe I'll just take that back one step and let's talk about fungicides in general. As we look at that and we talk about, we're going to talk about a couple of specific diseases and here in just a bit, in particular tar spots, a lot of buzz around that across that same Midwest.
Yep.
And as you said, new hope, what should we do with that? And as you think about that, I think always a great plan, whether it's your crop protection, you're looking at your weed control, or it's your fungicide, is the best disease to control is one you never see. And that seems a little odd, but let me explain just a little, right? I mean, I got a little bit of the look like, like it is. It's a little different. I don't want to see it.
Right.
I want to be able to be in front of it preventative-wise enough that I never see it. And if I can do things across that plant's whole life cycle to ensure that we don't see disease and we don't see things that detract from yield, right? And that take little chips away from your possible yield, which could be 700-800 bushel at this point. We think our capacity may be in a cornfield like this. This is around a 300 bushel yield environment typically. The question I have, where'd the other 500 bushel go? Right? So we've chipped away at it a little bit, and as we chipped away at that, I think fungicides are an obvious way with that. And I think really who we're speaking to is maybe half your growers. Half of them already believe in a fungicide and they understand what it's worth and they understand the value of it and it's become part of their system. I think we're speaking today to the other half. Yes. And the other half is this. I don't think there's a better way to fill a contract than with fungicide at VT timing. Okay. If you add some of your biologicals to that, all of a sudden you're multiplying what you can add to that crop and how you can fill that contract better.
That's kind of how we talk about. Yep. We're trying to set the stage early and use some of our other products with planting, with post-herbicide, but then really trying to finish the crop off at VT with the fungicide, or even using a fungicide at V4 like we're at now. But
Yeah, so you can do a bit of both. I think much of what you guys have done and what you've done up to this point, you've given yourself the protection and you've given yourself that chain and you've built out a strong, robust plant, right? Whether it's a bigger, more robust root structure, maybe it's a more efficient nitrogen use pattern. Maybe we've done some things where we've activated some things within the plant and some of the pathways in there that can really be helpful in looking at that. As we go forward from here, then the fungicides are next choices, right? I really feel like. I think we're past post. This crop has all been post-planted, post-emerge sprayed. We're in that stage where this is in another week or 10 days, we'll come back here and we won't be able to see the rows anymore, right? It'll have everything covered. Things will be fantastic. So as we think about that, we think about fungicide. And fungicides, I think about this. I think about full use rates. Okay. I think about robust control. I think about combination products, right? Combination products that can do things like we could put something on that's curative in case there is some something there, whether we can see it or not. And then also preventative things that once we get it on the plant, it can have some longevity in there, whether it's longevity just inside the plant or maybe it's longevity in the soil, right? I mean, there's a couple of ways we can go at that. And then if we can add some additional spins and twists to that, I think that makes a lot of sense. One we'll talk about that is near and dear to my heart and to yours as well is the Zolera FX.
Yes.
Zolera FX is not new to the market, right? It's been out for a few years, but here's the thing is probably the best unknown fungicide in the business, in my opinion. Two products in it. Fluoxystrobin is the preventative, and tetraconazole is a curative.
Okay.
Unique chemistry in that particular strobilurin, 122-day half-life in the soil. So if we do hit the soil with that one, it's okay. It goes into the roots. It can be picked up from the roots and put up into the shoot of the plant. So again, huge benefit. So we can actually go a little earlier and gain some benefit that way. The second is the tetraconazole. And tetraconazole is fast. It's a lightning fast one. It'll go out and knock out whatever we see, stop it, and then we use the strobilurin to give us some longevity of control. In those, the unique part about both those are, one, the fluoxystrobin, we're the only one that has it as a foliar. Okay. Number two, both those are 100% plus products. Okay. What I mean by is this, that if you look at them individually, on their labeled rates, the fluoxystrobin is 104% of registered rate.
Wow. The
tetraconazole is 110. Okay. So it's not a play where we're going to give you a combo product and we're just going to cut the rates a little bit and meet in the middle. And together they'll be the same.
Right.
We don't take that risk.
Okay.
We want full.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that full, that's what gives us longevity of control. That's what gives us consistency of control. Show an average of 10.7 bushel across hundreds of trials in the last 7 years. Okay. Right? Both grower trials and replicated trials. I think with that, the one buzz we may have heard is 3 ways. Right?
Yep. That's a big talking point.
Lots of buzz around that,
yes,
right?
Lots of buzz.
We have an opportunity to go that way too and let you customize it.
Right. Sounds like you guys have a pretty unique option in the market that's pretty unique to UPL.
It is unique to UPL and now to Streamline, right? And you guys, right? I think I'm excited to this one. This is one, it happens to be a bio-based fungicide, right? Okay. I don't care. I'm an agronomist. I don't care. And I don't mean that badly, but if it's good enough, it's good enough, and this is good enough. Yep. 80+% of the time, we see an average of 6 bushel add in corn at 7 ounces per acre of a product called Vacciplant. Okay. Vacciplant is this. Think about a vaccination. If I was going to have you vaccinate your kids for measles, should we do it before they have measles or after?
Definitely before.
Definitely before. Yes. Vaccipant's no different, right? It's a unique mode of action, and by mode of action, it has a single mode of action. Its P4 is the FRAC code. Okay. So it's FRAC-coded, EPA-registered biofungicide, right? So with that, we have 2 pathways that are active within that P4, ISR and SAR, right? The ISR is an inoculum. It inoculates the plant, it builds it, it helps build it from the inside out. So basically, it's much like a vaccine. We give you a little dose of something to beat you up just a little bit, right? But then it makes you stronger through the rest of the year, right? Through the rest of your life cycle. The SAR is unique, though. Most of the things we talked about, earlier I touched on how did we get from 800 to 300, where'd that 500 go? Yep. Most of the time, we're talking about management steps to not take things off. Yep. This is something that's actually an increaser. It feels like we increase the yield capacity with the SAR and its ability to get into the plant and make the plant more robust. And I think that's really part of the unique is it's not just one pathway, it's 2, and most don't have that. And happens to be a biological.
Very cool. Okay, one of the things I know is kind of a big buzzword in the industry right now is tar spot, and I think with that timing is one of those things with these products that you want to wait till we see it, or want to again have more of a preventative and make sure that we stay on top of it with our fungicides. But yeah, can you speak quickly to some tar spot issues? Oh
yeah, definitely. So the tar spot is like we spoke before, and it kind of goes in the face of what we've been taught traditionally in IPM, right? Okay. Look, see, diagnose, fix. Okay. Tar spot's not one we want to do that with. Okay. We're better off to be in front of it and to be curing it. Interesting part of tar spot is it can show up as early as May. Okay. Or it could show up now. Okay. Probably here already. Right. We just haven't seen it, right? Or has that disease triangle gone to where it will sit and it'll start to multiply? This weather pattern is going to be helpful for some of that developing. Right. But whether we see it early or late, we need to have the plant health in place in front of it if we can. Because if we can stop it and we will never stop lesions from completely showing up. I don't care what anybody says, and no matter what your timing, we could spray every 21 days and there still could be tar spot lesions show up. Right. So incidents can still happen. We're really more about how do we stop the severity? How do we stop the progression of the disease, which then implements and hurts you? Zolera FX was one of the first registered with tar spot. We found it in Wisconsin. We found it in 2 spots, Wisconsin and Indiana, I think 5 years ago.
Okay.
We have a label for it for tar spot for Zolera FX. On top of that, we've also started adding Vacciplant to that. Okay. What we see is a cumulative, right? And it's not just 1 + 1 is 2, sometimes it's 3. Okay. So last year, we had 7 locations across the upper Midwest, again, in search of tar spot. Right. The one location that it hit is this. If we make an application of Zolera FX, if we make an application of even a fungicide, even if it's not Zolera, we'd still like you to put Vacciplant in, right? Even if we make a application with and without, it was worth up to 10 bushels more over the standard fungicide application itself, okay, which was still 10 bushel better than the untreated check. Okay. So you start doing multipliers in there and you start thinking about efficacy and you start thinking about ways to fill contracts and what's the most cost-effective way, right, to fill a bushel contract. Right. That combination allows you to make a 3-way as you see fit. We would really encourage you to look at Zolera FX doing it. Yeah. But if not, and you already are bought up, please put Vacciplant in. It's a 7-ounce use rate, low use rate, solid progress. And we see it even by itself, it's still 6+ bushel better.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks for being here. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think one thing I'd leave you with is this, is if you look at what the Zolera FX plus Vacciplant represents, is it's a premium product at a tremendous value for both you and your growers.
Great. Well, again, Lynn, thanks for being here. Thanks everyone for joining us for another Future Farm episode. We'll see you next week.